are gnawed upon by things creeping out of the earth when they eat them, and their clothes they feel it not. Their faces are black through the smoke that comes out of the temple. Upon their bodies and heads sit bats, swallows, and birds, and the cats also.
God, so your gods have animals sit on them. What kind of God is that? All right? That's dropping feces on them. All right? Isn't holy? Isn't holy supposed to be clean? All right? Isn't that, what is that worldly saying? What is that saying? Cleanliness is next to godliness. All right? It's something that's dirty and filthy is not pleasing to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right? So what do you think? What do you think the feces of these unclean creatures, especially bats? All right? Didn't this so-called crown 19 come from bats? And your God can't even take care of that. Woo! Oh, Salakia. So, as a matter of fact, let's go to Psalms chapter 2 and verse 1. This is for you heathens, right? You heathen. Salakia. I'm trying to get a hold.
This is book of Psalms chapter 2 verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Why do you rage and imagine a vain thing? All right. Why do you imagine that your idol can compare to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai? All right. Why do you imagine these vain things? All right. That Israel was done away with. All right. Continue.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away the cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision.
Romans 9 and 4 and 5. Khan. All right? So actually read that last verse again.
It said, this book of Psalms chapter 2 verse 3, let us break their bands asunder and cast away the cords their cords from us.
So let us break their bands asunder. Cast away their cords from us. Cast Israel away from them. All right?
Then shall he speak unto them, verse 4, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and the Lord shall have them in derision.
So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai would laugh with us and have us in derision. All right? Ultimately, because we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right? Go ahead and put.
This is Romans chapter 9, verse 4. Who are Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of the power, and the promises?
All right, so now read that again from, I believe it's from 2. From 2 down to 3.
Book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 2. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel against together. Slack you. My eyes are playing tricks with me right now.
That's right.
Book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 2. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and the Lord shall have them in derision.
Khan. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai should have us in derision. All right? And who would be in derision? Only those who could be. All right? Matter of fact, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 22, and it reads, and thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. All right? Israel is my son, even my firstborn. All right? God. All right, and read that one more time. Lock in.
This is Romans 9:4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and the promises.
So he said the covenants and the giving of the law. He didn't say just covenant, he said covenants, plural. All right, so the law and the covenants belong to who? Israel. All right? No other nation. All right? Jump over to either nation. Jump over to Psalms 83.
This is Psalms 83.
Go. Salakia. So who do the laws and covenant belong to? Once again, to the Israelites. All right? Nobody else. Salvation is only for the Israelites. All right? Salakia.
83, what verse?
83, start off at, Salakia, start off at 3.
This is Psalms 83:3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So once again, who is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's people? All right? Who? Well, once again, for edification, let me go back to the book of Romans. It's going to be book of Romans, chapter 9, and verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of the power, and the promises. Read that again.
They have taken crafty counsel against...
Call it out. Call it out. You can read.
This is Psalms 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
All right, so thy hidden ones. All right, which would be the Israelites. Continue.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So let us cut them off from being a nation. All right? So the name of Israel will be no more in remembrance. But what did Yahweh Hashem Yahushai do to us for disobeying? All right? Deuteronomy 28:68. Temperature drop.
Hands are starting to freeze already.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68, and it reads, And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
So it said it should bring you into Egypt again with ships. Now what does Egypt mean? Slaket. Slaket, bondage. All right, that house of bondage. This America is spiritually Sodom, Gomorrah, and Egypt. Babylon. All right? This
The Roman Empire.
the Roman Empire. This is America. All right? Don't get you slipping up. This is America. All right? It's got you. You've been fooled, Jake. Continue.
Psalms 83:5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom.
So, Salakia, they are confederate against thee. All these other heathen nations are on one accord. You so-called Moabites, all right? You so-called Asians, all right? You so-called Africans, all right? And we're going to go into your biblical nationality, all right? Continue.
The tabernacles of Edom, so-called Caucasian, and the Ishmaelites, so-called Arabs, of Moab, the so-called Chinese, and the Hagarians, the so-called Lebanese, or Africans, Gabal and Ammon, Ammon so-called Japanese, and Amalek, the elites of the Edomites, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre, who are also of Africa, of so-called Africa. Asher, the Syrians, also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah.
All right. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai placed us in these other nations. Why? Because we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. And to prove that, once again, we're going to go to the book of Genesis. It's going to be chapter 15 and verse 13. And it reads, "And he said unto Abraham," which who's Abraham? Our forefather. All right. Our forefather. Our forefathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. And it reads once again, Genesis chapter 15 and verse 13. "And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that the seed, what is the seed? All right. The seed is the sperm, the sperma. All right. That a man ejaculates when he's having sex. All right. So that the seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. All right, how long was slavery? I don't know. Maybe like 400 plus years? For when our time, roughly paraphrasing scripture, for when our time, Nick, we had an end. All right, what they continue to do. All right, continuing on. "And also that nation whom they shall serve, I will judge." All right, so Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai will judge those nations. All right, it is not for us to pick up sword or a gun or anything against these other nations. All right, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, roughly paraphrasing the scripture, he says, "Vengeance is mine, says the Lord." All right, "Whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with a great substance." All right, that was not only in the time of Pharaoh and the Exodus from Egypt. All right, that's also pertaining to now. All right, escaping from this bondage here. All right, this spiritually Sodom, Gomorrah, and Egypt, and Babylon. All right.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 5, verse 4, and it reads, "For thou art not a power that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. The Lord will abhor the bloody and deceitful man."
God. Here's a glove. You get one glove? Hey, you good? All right. Our brothers look cold, so. I'm trying to help y'all out. All right?
I'm good.
Keep that going, Doc. Slack in. Read the last verse again.
The last verse again?
God.
The book of Psalms, chapter 5, verse 4, "For thou art not a power that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. The Lord will abhor the bloody and deceitful man."
Huh. He doesn't like wickedness and the bloody and deceitful men. And who is that? Well, that would have to be our big brother. All right? And who's the big brother? That would be E. You, E. Sleazy E, that's you. All right? You would be our evil twin brother. All right? The older brother. All right? And we can prove that. Once again, let's go ahead and go to Genesis. Go to Genesis 25 and 25.
I'm going to grab Psalms.
God, you can grab Psalms.
Psalms chapter 7, verse 11. Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day.
So yeah, Khan. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai judges the righteous and wicked and angry with the wicked every day. All right?
This is Genesis 25 and 21. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren. And Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh.
And those children struggled together within her. All right? Because what? Continue.
And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
Because 2 nations are in thy womb. 2. Right? Even though it's of the same father line, same seed. All right? But 2 nations are in thy womb. Continue.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
One people shall be stronger than the other people.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
The elder shall serve the younger. Who's the elder brother? Let the script say.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
There were twins, all right? So she had twins, not identical twins, of course, all right? But had twins.
And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment.
First came out red, as of a hairy garment, all right? So, what? Whose children usually come out red as if a hairy garment, with their flesh wasted away? It lacks pigmentation, Salakia. Who would that be? That would be Esau, Edom. Continue.
And they called his name Esau.
Esau. It's you, Big E. It's you. You are the culprit. You fit the description. All right.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Now, why didn't they mention Jacob's so-called nationality? Because he had pigment and it was natural. All right? It was natural. All right? Go ahead and pull that. As a matter of fact, hold that, but pull up the story of
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 7. Then I answered and said, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
God.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
All right, so that means if Esau is the end of the world, all right, and held the heel of Esau, and Jacob is the beginning of it, well, who's in power? All right? Look all around the world. All right? Who's in power? Who sets the trend for this world? All right? You got that account? Go ahead and pull that. And to go and show, all right, that same spirit, and not only the spirit, but that same mark, all right? That same mark is not a good thing, all right? Thus saith the Bible. You get mad at us, don't be mad at us, be mad at the Bible.
This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Khan, so Yahweh Shem Yahushai had Cain and Abel be born, right? So being that Cain and Abel were born, drop down to where he murders Cain. Slakia, where
Cain murdered Abel.
Cain murders Abel.
This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him.
All right, so Cain rose up against Abel and slew him. Well, when he slew him, what happened?
Verse 9. And Yahweh said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
So what did Cain do? He committed what? He committed a murder. All right? That was that first murder. All right?
And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
So now that spirit of Cain was cursed in the earth. All right?
When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
So why are you Jakes in the field over this so-called white man? All right? Why are you in the field over Esau? All right? Esau owns the farm, but you do the work. Why? Because if Esau did the work, the earth is not going to yield its fruit unto him. Thus saith the Bible. All right? That's why you Jakes are out in the field. That's why he had you picking cotton. All right?
That's where that wicked pagan holiday Labor Day comes from.
God, that's why you got those oranges. All right? You just pick a whole thing of oranges, grapes, greens. All right? You pick everything.
You can get that account to the right.
God.
Okay, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. All right, so you should always be looking over your shoulder. And what's Sleazy E always doing? Even though he has the fatness of the earth, he is always looking over his shoulder, trying to cover up every lie that he's told. Because he continuously lies. He has to tell one lie to cover another lie, and a lie to cover that lie, and that lie to cover this lie, and that lie to cover the other lie. But don't forget about that other lie that you lied about. And when you did that, you forgot. Now the wickedness is being revealed.
And Cain said unto Yahweh, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. God. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
God. So why should they slay him? All right? Because he had a mark upon him. All right?
And Yahweh said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh said, Set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden.
God. So he had a mark set upon him. All right? And what's the mark of sin that was set upon?
Leprosy.
Well, leprosy. All right? And what is leprosy? To be without pigment. Lack thereof. So if you're lacking pigment, therefore you have leprosy.
Which is also known as vitiligo in modern these times.
God. Charm. All right, so Slakia. And going to prove that once again, let's go ahead, let's jump into Genesis. All right, and we're going to jump into chapter 27 and verse 41. And it reads, And Esau hated Jacob because of his blessing, whether his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning of my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. All right? And you can go back into Exodus, Slakia 25 through 27 and read that account, because that blessing, all right, that blessing that was given, all right, Esau sold his birthright, all right, and then he got supplanted for the blessing. But he had already sold his birthright. All right, so, and then in 25, Yahweh Shem Yahushai said, the elder shall serve the younger. All right, so it was never his to begin